Welcome back to episode 107 of AyyScare Plays Front Office Football 8. And in case you skipped episode 6, we made a big move and we traded a bunch of first and second round picks for our hopefully future quarterback here in Harry McGee. So we threw him in as a rookie and he started most of the season for us. Now, as a rookie, you can't throw these guys in and expect them to, go off, but he actually did extremely well for us as a rookie. He has a couple of things that we're going to need to look into, especially since he's our young, hopefully superstar centerpiece of our team. We need to make sure to clear up this conflict that he has going, which unfortunately is with our star center. But we don't want those conflicts. That's going to cause some unintentional issues down the line. So we need to clear that up. Other big things that I wanted to note before we jumped into the season. The wide receiver that we offered a big deal to last season, whose name I'm now forgetting. 1 second here. Carson? It was Carson. Yeah. So Carson, as a quick reminder here, he was the guy that played for Atlanta. He had 2 1,200-yard seasons. And I was like, you know what, let's bring this guy in. He can be kind of our star wideout. He played 10 games for us. Only went for 353 yards. Really did not put up any decent numbers. And we are right now going to be paying him about $20 million a year for the next 4 years. So this is a guy that we definitely need to keep an eye on. We need to see how he does this upcoming season. And then if he's still not looking good, we need to see if... I have a feeling no team's going to be willing to trade for him. So we'll more than likely need to release him and eat some of that money in our budget. Another thing, especially if you missed the last episode, we traded away our first round pick this episode and next episode. And I believe we also traded away our second round pick this episode. So chances of us getting good rookies is going to be very slim. So we need to make sure to keep an eye on certain aspects of our team. I mentioned this last episode. The front line is getting up there in age. We could start seeing some of these guys retiring relatively soon. We did pull in that tackle 2 episodes ago, and it looks like he's going to be a superstar, which is great. But we definitely need to pull in 1 or 2 other young talents. I was actually looking at this. There is the one guy that we got. Where is he? Right here, Sean Robbins. Now he's still developing. He hasn't even really played for us yet. But he looks like he could fall in to be another good starter for our line. And he's only 2 years in the league as well. So hopefully we have a couple of things starting to come together there. As has been the case throughout this series, our defense is still absolutely stacked. As a quick reminder here, let's just look at our team summary from last season. So our offense finally took off. Our defense was, I'm willing to say top in the league, but I don't know if they actually were. It will also depend on what stats you go based off of. But we definitely had the best running defense in the league. Our passing defense was... In this, it's considered average if we look at the rank, but you have to remember, if a team knows that we're a top rushing defense, they're going to be passing more. So just looking at a number of completions or number of pass attempts is not really worthwhile. We kept their passing yards at the 6th lowest in the league and yards per catch at 3rd lowest in the league. So, our defense is A-okay. We definitely have to look out for any kind of retirements or something like that, but not too worried about that. One other thing. Our running game finally took off. So that's something that I've been waiting to see happen, and it's finally happened with this new quarterback and maybe the new addition to our line. So that's a good sign. The biggest concern for me right now is, I would say it's twofold, unless something happens here with a retirement or something that I'm not expecting. We need to keep McGee safe, so we need to potentially target good front linemen. Even though our running game took off, we don't really have a star running back on our team. And 3, our top target by, I'm willing to say a long shot basically here, is our tight end, which is not going to be ideal. I guess that's the best way of putting it. So we need to find out a new target for our team, and we'll see how it all goes. So with that, let's go ahead and hop into our next season. We are definitely re-signing our defensive coordinator. He has been working wonders for us. And with this, we'll see in this suitable category, but I have a feeling I'm basically going to keep this as is. I've been making a number of coach changes, and I don't want to keep throwing in new coaches and things, especially with a young quarterback. So our guy's listed here as 3rd, but he's still tied for best suitable. So I'm not even going to bother potentially swapping him out. Top offensive coordinator. And our offensive coordinator focuses on line, so that's good. Defensive coordinator. Look at this. This dude is doing wonders for us. So hopefully no team steals him as a head coach, but we'll see. So what happened here? I guess our assistant coach got nabbed by another team. I don't even remember who our assistant coach was. All right, well, we will see what happens here. So now I would like to have a coach that focuses on quarterback since I have that young quarterback. Let's take a quick look-see here. All right, he has decent player development, good young talent. He's West Coast offensive play style. Now, I don't know if this plays into this, but that should help us some with passing stats, I would assume. Scouting and interviewing is terrible. Let's see if there's another one. Here's another guy. Okay. This guy has a little bit better player development, which I think is kind of what I want here. He also has decent interviewing, which should help us. We'll go with this guy for now. Strength coach is top. All right, perfecto. Let's set ticket pricing real quick. I haven't been paying attention. I wonder if our fan loyalty has gone up at all since we started. One other thing, let me see if I can find it again real quick that I thought was interesting, and it's new in 8, or at least I never saw it in 7. There was this cool little stat. Let's see, is it under... right now it's grayed out. There's this stat called native snap percentages, which is actually a pretty cool stat. It shows how much of your team was actually drafted on your team. So like, if I drafted a player, my percentage would go up. If it was a player I got off a free agency or something like that, my percentage would go down. And we are at the very bottom of this list. So most of our players that are playing snaps for us did not start on our team. So I just thought that was interesting because we were literally rock bottom of that list. Let's really quickly look at our scouting situation here. So we have some decent cap space again. Let's see, because we're going to need to re-sign a couple people this year. I wouldn't expect any of the people in this list with 1 year remaining to demand a lot of money. This inside linebacker did not play well for us last year, so he'll probably not ask for much. This defensive end, Jermaine, he is coming kind of towards the end of his career now. He's now 30, so I'm not expecting a huge pay for him. He'll still probably be like a top 20 paid, but nothing too crazy. Kicker, middle linebacker, guard. So most of these we should be able to re-sign for cheap. Now, if you look here under this contract column, you'll see we're actually losing a number of players this year. How's Haggard doing? Hasn't done much for us. Okay, I was going to say I might look at franchising him, but he didn't really do anything for us the past 2 years, so never mind. I definitely want to get these 3 guys re-signed. That will be in our next stage. And we're going to let one of our guards walk. Again, I'm not too worried about that because we do have that young guard, and also we need to start filling up our offensive line with some younger talent. Here's the one other player that might be worth franchising. Now, Oscar Stevens, I haven't put too much emphasis on player names yet, so you might be saying, why am I bringing this guy up? What would this have been? I guess this would have been like episode 3. He was actually our first round draft pick. We picked him 8th overall. And if we look at his player stats here, he's played and started basically every single game for us. Last year was definitely his best year. He went for 2 interceptions and actually scored 2 touchdowns off of those. And he also is getting very decent tackles for cornerback. Now, this is one of those big kind of areas where I sometimes go back and forth too much. This guy's definitely doing well for us. But in order to franchise him, we're probably going to have to pay him. I'll pull it up real quick here, but it's probably going to be some ridiculous amount because corners generally get paid quite a bit. Yeah, so we'd be paying him $33 million. And we have these other 2 young guys that we're going to probably be re-signing both of them. We also have this guy, Austin, who is already a 51. So even though he has done very well for us, I think I am going to let him walk. Let's see. Let me just look down here to see if there's anybody with a lot of... So here's a right guard, although he started every game for us last year. We're paying him about $11 million this year. And he's now considered one of the kind of lower ranked players on our team. We're letting this other guard go, which this is now a little bit more problematic for me. I'm going to keep him just because we need a guard. This guy's at least a proven starter, even though his rankings aren't that high. Safety's going. DJ Martin, this is another player that we've, he's been with us. I think he was a pickup for us the first season we started. As a reminder, he came off of an ACL tear after 2073, and last season basically put up nothing for us. And while I'm sad to see him go, his numbers had been declining, and he's also unhappy. Now he's more than likely unhappy because he wasn't playing enough. So sad to see him go, but it's time to rebuild. As I mentioned before, we have to figure out this quarterback center back and forth where they have a conflict. I don't want to just drop Vernon Huffman because he's a 65, so he's a very good player for us. I might start out this season by seeing what I can get for him, shopping him around, because again, I don't want there to be a conflict here. All right, we're not dropping anybody. Let's go ahead and begin. Not dropping or franchising, I should say. All right. Let me just double check here. Pretty confident we traded away our first and second round picks, and that is the case. So this draft, if we get anybody that can even start, I'll be happy, which means we're going to have to do some things through free agency, and this is probably going to be true for the next 2 seasons. All right. We're going to start out by re-signing some players here. I'm not sure if that could be heard in the recording, but we had a snowstorm the other day, and it sounded like some ice just went flying off of probably our neighbor's roof. I don't know. Inside linebacker went for dirt cheap. Let's see what Jermaine's asking for. He's asking for $15 million. He's not even asking. Well, I guess with his bonus, he's probably asking for about a top 20 pay, which is fine with me. He's well liked. He's a long-term player on our team, so I'm happy to keep him around. All right, our tackle, we technically don't need to re-sign him until next year, but let's see what... Oh, look at that. He's not asking to be paid almost anything, so we'll go ahead, extend his contract. Not a problem at all. I'm not going to extend Huffman because, again, we're more than likely going to be trading him away. Our kicker, I'm not even going to lie. I know that our kicker, I drafted him in the 7th round of our first year. And I'm not even going to lie. He's actually turned out to be a very decent kicker. So look at this. Last year, he hit 11 from beyond 50. So I'm not sad about this at all. Let's we'll go ahead and negotiate him for another 3 years. Another middle linebacker. He's asking to be a top 20. Fine with me. Here's the young guard. We definitely want to make sure he's only willing to sign 2 years with us. So somebody that we'll need to look at next year for sure. Here's the fullback that we drafted our first year together. I'm never really sure in this game what stats to look at for a fullback, just being perfectly honest, because they never have great rushing stats, which makes sense. They never have great receiving stats, which also tends to make sense. And then if we look at their blocking stats are always like, there's just so little to go on in terms of how many block opportunities they have, things like that, that I'm really not ever sure how to tell how well one of these guys is doing unless he makes the Pro Bowl team. And he did make the Pro Bowl team, I guess this was 2 or 3 years ago now. So I'll go ahead and negotiate him. And again, the other thing about that is fullbacks ask normally for almost no money whatsoever. So we'll go ahead, re-sign him. Here's an older tackle on our team, and he actually didn't even start for us all last year. Did he get hurt? Oh yeah, look at this. He went from an ankle to a mild chest to a serious head injury all last year. He's a player that I'm going to not negotiate with this year. Depending on what that head injury was, one thing that I haven't seen yet in 8, but this happened to me multiple times in 7, is that if players start getting a lot of head injuries or concussions, they sometimes end up with the repetitive concussion syndrome, or I don't know if that's the name of it, but I think it is. And that basically, if they get to that point, they basically just ride your bench until they end up retiring. Actually, in 7 one time, I had a quarterback that I signed off of a off of free agency, off of his rookie deal. So I don't remember what it was. It was one of like the biggest deals ever, and it was like his 5th game with us. He got like concussion like 3 times in a single season, and then had the repetitive concussion syndrome and sat on my bench for the next basically 4 seasons, making probably $50 million a year. And it completely tanked my team for like a decade. So I'm not going to bother re-signing that guy for now. If he ends up having a great season for us, he might be a guy that I throw a franchise tag on, but not doing anything more with that. As I mentioned before, I have to re-sign a couple of these young defensive studs. The other nice thing about having so many studs on the team is that they actually lower each other's stats. So as an example, if you have one outstanding wide receiver that might go for like 1,800 yards, they're going to ask for a monster contract. But if you have 3 good wide receivers and each of them go for 1,000 yards, then you're not stuck in that same situation. So the fact that we have so many good defensive players right now, it actually kind of works in our favor. And let me just see. I only have like 1 or 2 more that I have to re-sign here. And I'm not going to bother going lower than this for re-signing. Now that we've re-signed all those players, let's end this stage and then see what the game says we need. So the game says that we now need defensive tackle, starting running back, starting safety. The safety situation has been a problem for us since we started, so that's not a big... what am I looking for? Big surprise. As I mentioned before, we do kind of need to get a star running back. And I think I mentioned this in previous episodes. For some reason, the game puts a huge emphasis on defensive tackles. Even if I have like 1 or 2 good defensive tackles, it still says that it's like my biggest need. And actually, yeah, so the best defensive tackle I have is only a 52, and he's the only one in this list. So this might be a season where I agree, okay, defensive tackle is probably a need for us. And if I look at player distribution, we need a tight end. We need safety. Okay. So let's take a look at the gray sheet and see what's going down. All right, so the top 2 on the board this year are actually 2 of our players. Actually, we have a number of players that hit. But again, this was kind of expected. I'm intentionally letting these guys go. But this means that we potentially could get these guys back. Let's see what Oscar Stevens was asking for. Up to $21 million. So he's not even asking to be paid a top 20. The only downside to this is I have all those other options. These are 2 positions that I'm really stacked on, so I'm probably not going to bother with it. 2 defensive tackles right here. Let's take a quick look at them. Can I open both of them at the same time? Ooh, I can. Perfect. So this is something new in 8, in case anybody's like playing 7 or anything like that. In 7, you could only have 1 window open at a time. So like in 7, I couldn't even have the franchise window open like I've been doing throughout this series. So also when you're comparing players, this makes it a lot easier. They kind of have like polar opposite stats here. So this guy's definitely a little bit better at the run defense and pass rushing. This guy is still decent at those, but puts up big numbers in things like endurance, punishing hitter, play diagnosis, things like that. Let's get their stats real quick here. So this guy has actually been playing almost full time. This guy has not. That's not exactly a red flag because he could be on a team where he's just not putting up numbers, kind of similar to the two players, Jermaine, or not Jermaine, but the two players at the top of free agency that are from our team. I don't know. I feel like both of these guys are probably... actually, this is actually the one interesting thing. So our team does run... yawn there. Our team does run a nose tackle normally. This guy fits better in with nose tackle. Setup, that's his ideal fit. So we'll go for him. So Archie Hall is the guy we're going for. And he wants up to 18 million, which would put him at a top 20 at the end of his career. So again, this is a position that we need. I do feel like we have a team right now that is kind of in a win mode. Our defense will end up aging and kind of phasing out probably in the next 2 or 3 years, especially because we do not have first round picks to restock it. So we'll offer him 20 million signing. Let's see here. 12 million, 15 million, 18 million, 21 million. And that still only would put him at defensive tackle. So that would probably put him somewhere around like top 15 paid. This is the one that played all last year, right? And he actually put up decent numbers. I'm actually going to add on to his signing bonus. I'll add another 4 million. Mainly just because I don't want to lose him. He's also a welcome addition, which is another great thing. We'll boost it by another 2. Just because this is a guy that I don't want to lose. There's also a running back here, but to be honest, our running backs, even though none of them were that highly rated, they did fine last year, and I don't think this guy would really be an upgrade. So, not going to worry about that. Just out of interest here, isn't Parker Harding the quarterback that we started a couple of years? Yeah, this is the guy that we had on our team, and we started him... we only actually started him 6 games, but he's now back on free agency. It looks like Denver cut their ties with him, so he's bouncing around. All right, come on. All right, we got him. We got him. Let's go. All right, let's take a look-sees here now. Now, what I really think we need to do is we need to focus on some kind of offensive target for McGee. I don't want to just leave him out there with, nothing to pass to or nothing to hand the ball off to. So let's take a look at so here's the wide receiver. Let's take a look at his stats real quick. He had 1 year where he went for about 1,200 yards. It looks like he might have gotten injured a couple of times. Let's take a look at some of his other stats. He has high intelligence. He got onto the Pro Bowl team 3 years ago. He's really good at getting downfield. And honestly, I mean, all these bars are above 50, basically. So this could be the kind of guy that I kind of envisioned. Let's see what he's asking for. Up to 23 million for a wide receiver. Again, he's only asking to get paid up to about a top 20. Now, admittedly, the past 2 years, he probably lands more in like a top 30 wide receiver range. Especially last year, he only went for 1 touchdown. But again, we're not going to be getting a wide receiver that's a stud in the draft. And this is definitely a glaring hole, in my opinion, for us. So let's see what we can do. The other big thing to keep in mind is we're letting a lot of not a lot. That's not the right word to use. We're letting a number of our kind of top picks go in the free agency. Like we saw 5 of our players were probably in like the top 20 free agents this year. So that was intentional. So just something else to keep in mind. I'm only going to give this guy a 3-year offer. The main reason for this is if this guy and the other wide receiver that we're paying $20 million a year, if neither of them work out, we're going to end up paying a crap ton for wide receivers that are pieces of crap. So I don't want to give this guy like a 4 or 5 year deal. I would rather cut this guy's pay sooner. I actually might go for a 2-year deal, to be honest. Let's actually do that. Let's just do a 2-year deal for this guy. $56 million for 2 years. Yes, I would still put him only as like a top 10 paid wide receiver. But I think that this is going to fit better in with what we're willing to risk. So he demands at least a 3-year. Damn it. All right. What's a good number divisible by 3? 15 million? And then we'll offer him 16, 18. Hold up. I'm actually now offering this guy way less than he wants. Hold up. 24, 20. Maybe we'll do 27 million signing and then keep these numbers to what I was originally thinking. Yeah, I think that's a decent deal, I think, for both of us. Hopefully that I really think he's going to end up signing a 4-year deal if I don't bump this signing bonus again. I'll offer him 30 million signing just to hopefully nab him here. I have a feeling he's going to go with the team offering him a 4-year deal, though. Oh, no, we got him. All right. All right. Oh, whoop, whoop. Let's go. All right, now that we've done that. So wait, let me think about this. 3-year deal. Yeah, hopefully this dude works because our cap space could be absolutely screwed when it comes to trying to sign our quarterback in a couple of years. With that, let's just take a quick look if there is any decent safety on the market here. Stage. There are 2 listed here, but neither of them are fantastic. They're both actually in the 50s rated. Wait, is Farrell the guy? Why does this guy's name sound familiar? Maybe we have another Farrell on our team. Norman Viscanti. He went for 60 tackles 2 years in a row. Got 1 interception. He averages around 80%. Okay. Let's go ahead, offer this guy a deal. He's not asking for much at all. And we know safety is a spot that we've been struggling. So let's go ahead and give this guy more than he wants here. Again, another reason I'm willing to give him more is because we're not going to be drafting a stud safety. So, all right, there we go. So I would say we've now landed 3 huge free agency pickups for us. Let's now head over to the draft preview. And with where we're picking, what pick are we? We're like pick, I think we're after pick 100. That'd be 8 or 64. No, so we're probably around pick like 90. But still, that's guessing what's going to be available at 90 is a complete crapshoot. So What I'm going to do is, we've said we need a running back. We could go with another wide receiver maybe. What's the game say we need now? Now we've signed a couple people. They say guard, defensive tackle still, running back. Where's our starting running back? This is not the guy that ended up being best for us last year, though. The guy that ended up being best last year was Tucker. Yeah, this guy did very well for us, so he's still on our team. So we have 2 decent running backs. They can split back. Maybe I will try focusing on a wide receiver then. So we have the tackle. That reminds me, the center situation. Let's see if Huffman has any trade potential. Had to trade. No general manager has expressed significant interest in this player. That's disappointing, because I definitely want to get rid of this situation before the season starts. Let's see if we can find a young center to replace him then. Then we don't even have 2 guards listed in the top section here, which is never a good sign. We do have that one guy that I mentioned started for us all last year and did decently. Let's see if we can find a replacement center. And then if we can, we'll probably end up, I guess at that point, cutting Huffman since nobody has expressed interest in him. Let's look at centers. And by pick 90, we're probably going to be looking down to about here at least. Nope, overrated. Not good at blocking strength. So definitely not what you want in a center position. Here's a guy that has some decent strength, considered overrated though. And one of our, I think it's our offensive coordinator, specializes in front line. So I definitely, believe in his ratings here. Here's a guy, great pass blocking and blocking strength. Not that great for our run blocking though. I'm still going to mark him though, because moving forward, now that we actually have a decent quarterback, or at least hopefully, I think we're going to put more focus onto our passing game. So we'll see. The other thing is, if this guy could even come in and center for us for like 2 or 3 seasons, and then get replaced, that might be good for us. I don't like the idea of having 2 centers, one specifically run blocking heavy and one pass blocking, because I feel like that, gives defensive certain reads. One other thing that I don't think I mentioned that I meant to mention, you'll notice that our quarterback started last year. I want to say he started like 5-1, or he was doing exceptionally well. What ends up happening, and this happens, I guess, in real life too, but it definitely was happening in 7 for me. When you have those young quarterbacks, they normally don't know all of the plays yet. So normally, if they start more than 8 or 9 games, the defenses get really good at reading their plays since they only know a limited selection of them. So that's more than likely why our season kind of trailed off last year, because defenses started really recognizing what our rookie quarterback was doing. So just something else to keep in mind as we go here. He's as scouted, but he doesn't look that good to me. Man, we're really going to be taking a shot in the dark when it comes to our rookie draft here. Let's see if there's going to be any sleeper safeties here. Yeah, maybe That's a... Ugh. He's got super good at man-to-man and zone. He's strong safety, though, and we just signed one of them. Ugh. Man, I don't even know. Maybe we'll go with a slow down the list wide receiver. There's a bigger wide receiver. Maybe. Look at this. This guy's 6'4", but he's only 200 pounds. Because I think the good wide receiver that we got off of free agency, I think he was 5'10". Is that this guy? Yeah. He was 5'11". So he's kind of a smaller build. So yeah, if we could pair him with a... Actually, what is our next... Because we still have the 2 tight ends who are going to be, big-bodied, things like that. Yeah, so both of our tight ends are ginormous. And then our other wide receivers... Actually, so all 3 of our... wait, we actually have one more down here. Yeah, so all of our wide receivers are relatively kind of like your small, fast receiver. So maybe adding somebody like this guy who's 6'4", or this guy who's 6'1" and 205, it would at least give us a little bit of a different look at our wide receiver situation. I'll interview this one. He's considered underrated. Okay. And then I'm still going to mark this guy as red, just that we remember he's there. And now, I don't want to put us too much lower. We're already halfway down the list here. And as a reminder, as I said before, we're going to have a lot of potential cap issues coming up in the next 2 or 3 seasons, especially if we need to sign our quarterback. As you can see here, quarterbacks, we're going to be paying our quarterback at least $50 million a year probably. So I don't want to get us into the red this season and then absolutely screw us moving forward. Let's see, now a number of other... Yeah, so we're still sitting towards the middle. So, all right, we'll just go ahead and skip remaining stages here. Close window. Do we try to go for one of the wide receivers? I don't even know. We're going to be sitting here a while. I'm going to keep it on faster just for the first couple of picks so that we can see what goes off the board. Running back went first. Defensive end, quarterback, wide receiver, running back. All right. 3 running backs in the top 10. 4 running backs in the top 10. I'm not too worried about it because we have such a great run defense, But interesting to see that many go off the board. All right. What are we? I think we're 94. Oh, no, we're 84. Okay. That's actually a little bit higher than I was expecting to be. One thing I actually didn't look at. What is our backup quarterback situation? Oh, we still have Middleton. That's right. Okay. In that case, I'm not too worried about it. He'll at least be able to fill in. We know that much. So top remaining on the board is this guy, Vincent Bailey. Potential good nose tackle here. Where is the first guy that we actually interviewed? Oh gosh. Pretty far down. Now, the wide receiver that we were potentially going with did go off the board. The big wide receiver that we did not interview yet, still here. None of the safeties are remaining. This guard is still sitting here. But he doesn't even look that good to begin with. That center should still be there next round. Ugh. I almost just feel like going top of the board here. It still says we need another defensive tackle. Let's just do it. I'm gonna go top player remaining right now. And then round 4, is that wide receiver still there? He did end up going, so that center I think will still be there. All right. As I mentioned before, I'm not that excited about this guy. I really don't even want to draft him, to be honest. He put up a really good 40 time. Not too high on the strength, though. I'm actually surprised that... Oh, yeah, look, if he was one lower, he would have been green, which means it's bad. I don't know. I don't feel like that's... His bars are just not high enough for me to say that's going to be a good call. Man. Yeah, almost every player that we interviewed is already gone. Do we just go top off the board again? What positions do we need to fill? Let's look back at that again. Not that one, this one. We definitely need to add another safety to our roster. We need an offensive line and a tight end. Let's take a quick look at tight ends since we haven't really looked at them at all yet. All right, so these top 2 guys, that looks pretty promising. I like the first guy more. Let's go ahead and just do it. If that guy pans out, we're already pretty much stacked at tight end, so that should be good for us. All right, so now let's go ahead, get our center. He might still be there around 6, but let's not play those games. There's another center here, and center is that piece that, as I mentioned before, we might need to fix up here. Let's try to grab a young safety just to fill in that spot. Right now, the second guy on the list is looking the most promising. Hunter Hawkins. This guy actually puts up really good run defense, apparently. Sure. And then... you know what, around 7, because most of these guys are probably going to be meh. This guy did not participate in the combine, which always makes him kind of a wild card. He's really only considered good at pass blocking, though. Let's take a flyer on him. We know we need to fill in a little bit here of our rookies, or of our front line. So let's see how they are faring. Are they all in here? I don't even remember how many picks I had. I think I only had 4 picks. So they are all in here. Yeah, that guard's not looking promising. Tight end's not looking too promising. The center and tackle, though, I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to be superstars, but they're at least potentially starter worthy. So let's take a look-sees. So what I really want to get here, I think, is I need to find a replacement for Huffman. If I can't do that, then I'm going to need to just run it with this conflict, but I really don't want to do that. So let's take a look, and I want a current estimate player that's highly rated. There's actually 2 rookies that are looking very promising, but they're going to take a couple of years to develop, which is not what I need right now. All right, so let's say there's 2 players that I might be able to just plug in here. Let's just compare them side by side. All right, since the center will probably be there every single down, I think we're going to need to go for this guy, Alvin Johnston. He at least has some endurance. This guy has 0. And their blocking stats are almost identical. So, yeah, so I have to go for this Alvin Johnston guy. Let's do a contract offer for him. And I'm going to be willing to pay him a lot because, again, he is going to be replacing Huffman. At least hopefully. Let's take another look real quick at the top potentials here. What's our punter situation? Jacksonville. Yeah, we have a fine punter. I'm not gonna bother taking a cap hit on that. Tackle but green, which means he's hurt. Oh, he actually has the repetitive concussion syndrome. So I was talking about earlier. Here's another running back. I don't think that it's going to be worth grabbing him. Here's another safety. Basically has done nothing in his career so far, but our scouting staff thinks that he could be good. So we'll pull him in. Here's a young defensive end. Outside linebacker that brings some pass rush technique, which I'm always a fan of bringing in if possible. There's 2 of his values there. All right, let's keep a close eye on the center. Center, he's pending with us. Does he have another offer yet? I don't remember how to check this. Since it's pending, oh, it would appear in here. Okay, so he hasn't received any other offers yet. Let's see. We got the outside linebacker. We got the defensive end. All right. Come on, center. 3 years, 20 million. I'm giving you a starting gig. It's still pending. I wonder if I dropped Huffman, if he would then instantly sign, because right now he doesn't understand that he's going to be my starter, which might be why he's holding off. I also need to get a long snapper. That's one of the other positions that I still need it. Look at this 100 long snapper. Yes, please. Fitting well. Though it's Huffman that's saying that, but we'll go ahead with that. Come on, Johnston. Please sign with me, my man. All right, he signed. This now gives me the ability to drop Huffman, but let me shop him one more time, just in case another team has changed their minds. No. All right, Huffman. You have been good, my friend. And I'm definitely taking a downgrade on you. But I cannot have a conflict with my young quarterback, my friend. 1 second here, actually. Why does this tight end have a conflict problem? That's weird. It says conflict, but there's not actually one listed. All right. All right. Huffman, my boy. I wish you the best. I did not mean to deactivate you. I meant to release you. Good luck with your future team. I'm sure he'll sign in this next round here, so let's see. I should go through and at least offer some additional contracts. So I will put in an offer for this other young center. I'll go ahead and put in an offer on this running back. At the least, they can battle it out in training camp. The other young running back, we're going to do the same exact thing. Corner. I think we're fine on cornerback. I'm not too worried about that. Especially since none of these guys are probably going to be upgrades. Game says we still need a guard. I should also probably get another tackle. I only have my 2 starting tackles. Let's see, where's my first tackle? He's a rookie, which I don't have any issue grabbing him, but I think that I'm going to need a proven starter at least a little bit here. This guy hasn't started, but he has at least been in the league 2 years. Potential rookie wide receiver here, Mitch Evans. I now have 3. I actually have 4 safeties. Okay. Might be worth adding one more inside linebacker, especially if there's an injury. Maybe another tight end. Tight end. Oh, wait, what did that just say? Should fit in well. Cool. And middle linebacker. All right. Let's see where what's his name ends up, the center. He actually didn't re-sign anywhere? Hold up. No team took him? That's a little bit surprising, but okay. All right. Let's do this thing. Simulate preseason. All right, and we're now starting it up here. Let's do this thing. So, we won our first week. Let's take a look at our starting lineup. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that McGee wasn't conflicting with another person now. Cool. All right, yeah. So our offensive line took a huge hit in that offseason. Now, a little bit of that was intentional, but that was I was not expecting it to drop that hard. So that is not promising. All right. We'll sim out a couple of additional weeks here and then take a look at how things are going. Right, we didn't win that. Interesting. The past 2 games, we didn't even score 10 points. All right, we're 1-3. What's going on? What is going on here? Let's take a look-sees at our team summary. What the hell? So far, we are back to our running game actually now being the worst it's ever been. That sucks. Because our passing game is actually doing okay. But look at this. We're now averaging 2.82, and that's with our quarterback putting up 7.5. If we just look at our running backs, we're averaging like I don't even know that. I would even say maybe even sub 2. That sucks. And this more than likely is coming from our offensive line taking a huge beating. We're 1-3. I don't want to bring in somebody too late though. I wonder if a team would be willing to trade me a star that we could plug in. Because I don't feel like we have a bad team. If I felt like we had a team that stood no shot, I wouldn't be doing that. But I feel like we have a decent enough team that if we can boost our running game to at least be acceptable, we might stand a shot. I'm not even 100% sure how to go about doing this. So trade, recommend. I kind of want a guard. I want a proven guard, so at least 3 years in the league. Based on current value. Search. What's this orange mean? Okay, I'm not entirely sure what the orange means. Maybe it means that they're hurt. That looks like it's what it is. Yeah, okay, so if they're orange, it means they're hurt. If they're blue, it means not sure what blue means. And I specifically kind of want a guy for run blocking. All right, so our team that I see listed multiple times here. Cleveland's twice towards the bottom. Carolina. I wonder if New York. This was their first round pick. There's no way in hell they're getting rid of him. Here's a guy that went 3rd round. He's hurt right now, but he should be back in a week with San Fran. Travis Sterling from San Fran. Let's see if they're willing to do anything with him. Travis Sterling from San Fran. They need a running back, defensive tackle, defensive end. Lucky for them, I have a couple of those. This guy could be up to a 61. What's this guy's actual? He's a 62. This guy's a more proven guy. Maybe they'll do something like this guy plus a lower pick. Maybe like our 5th round next year. The quality of your offer is very good, but we're not close to a deal right now. Your opponent is concerned about the effect of losing a player. Yep. Okay, let me try this one more time. Is there a way for me to... I need offensive guard. Because there's no way for me to do this based on if they're actually being, if they're willing to be traded. Here's a guy I could nab off of free agency. Maybe we'll try nabbing a couple people off of free agency and let's see. Not entirely sure how that works. I guess my coaching staff will go ahead and drop somebody. Let's see. All right, we'll run another 2 weeks. What the hell, man? Team summary. Okay. Yeah, it's still trash, but it increased a little bit. McGee's actually doing well, all things considered here. Currently averaging a 92.8 passer rating. Graham is the guy that I was worried about. He's actually our top wide receiver this year so far. And where is the other guy that we pulled in? Now I actually don't remember. It was this guy, right? Chuck? Yeah. It's hard to tell. I'm not going to say he's doing great, but he's at least doing all right. Do we have any injuries? For some reason, I feel like our team's not doing it as well as I was expecting. We did lose a tackle. We lost one of our cornerbacks. All right. We're 3-4, but this is a rough 3-4. Let's go back to the team summary here for a second. Okay, our running stats, once again, are still atrocious, but they did go up a little bit since last week. Oh, man. I'm not even 100% sure what to think, to be honest. I think our offensive line just took such a big hit. I really think that's what I'm blaming this year so far on. Our running game, even still, even though it's getting better, easily bottom 5 teams in the league. All right. Well, let's sim out a couple more weeks here. We're going up against Buffalo, who's undefeated. They're expected to beat us by 17 points. They only beat us by 5. All right, we're 5-5. We're now at 6-5. 7-5. 8-5. We're going up against a team that hasn't won a game, so please. 9-5. All right. Now this has absolutely jinxed me every single time I've tried it so far, but let's try this real quick. All right. 63% or 61% chance we make playoffs. That's lower than it was last year, and we didn't make it. So, let's hope for the best here. That Buffalo team is absolutely smashing it. So, let's see. Going up against New Orleans. We lost. This freaking thing jinxed me again, didn't it? and 6. All right. We'll see if we made playoffs. But you know what? We increased again. Regardless if we made playoffs or not. We're getting better. All right, we made wild card. Since we're in playoffs now, I am going to do the this thing again, where we'll pause if things are exciting. All right, we're down 3-0, 6-0, 6-3, 12-3, 12-6. Hold up, pause for a second. Where are we? We're in the third quarter, 8 minutes left. All right. All right, it's 15-6, 18-6. Our defense has basically held them to only getting field goals. But our offense, our offense just couldn't get the freaking ball moving. Okay, though. Our quarterback got some playoff experience. Not how I would have wanted it to go. In terms of, obviously I would have rather seen us won there. But, is what it is. And Green Bay beats Buffalo in the Super Bowl this year. All right. So, once again, we increased from anything that we've done so far. Let's take a quick look-sees at the team summary now that we've wrapped up the season. We had worst yards per carry in the league. What else is new? Our running defense actually did not do too well this year, but our passing defense did exceptionally. So that's interesting. It looks like McGee is the quarterback that we're hoping for here. He only did 22 touchdowns, but he had a passer rating of 92. And when you have 0 running game, I still think that's pretty decent. Definitely getting that ball around to different targets. We had a couple of players with good sack numbers. No outstanding tackle numbers from like an inside linebacker this year. But you know what? Our defense overall is still very solid. So that is what it is. Let's take a quick look at the Pro Bowl. McGee actually got second team quarterback. Only player to make it. But you know what? First year in the league, he got offensive rookie of the year. Second year in the league, he's now second team quarterback. So A-okay with that. Yeah. Interesting year again. And I think that we're, basically only going to get better, hopefully. This year made it clear that our offensive line is definitely a major concern. So that's probably what we'll be focusing on next episode. But I'm going to let this sink in for a couple of days before doing my next recording and, think things over and figure out where to go from here. Just so you guys know, if you guys are commenting on this series, I normally record like 1 or 2 episodes ahead. So, if you drop in any comments saying what you think I should do, anything like that, now would be a great time to do it, because I am going to hold off and not record until this episode goes live. So if you have any input for me, please let me know, and I will see you guys for the next episode. Till next time, AyyScare out.